All right, so today we're going to talk about the power of community and why you should make sure that you are in one or a part of one. Because when you're going through the darkest times in your life, your community is what's going to pull you through. This is not story that I heard on the internet. This is not something that I'm wishing is true. This is something that I'm realizing is true. I've generally been a self-starter. I've generally been the person who figures it out by myself, not asking anybody for help, not reaching out, not bringing anybody into my vulnerabilities. And that led me to burnout, depression, and frankly, not getting anywhere. And it's at that place of just being at rock bottom and realizing that people are in my life for a reason and I should lean on them whenever I need to. That's when I realized that that's why they're there. Like, it sounds like common sense, but I don't know if this is a elder daughter syndrome where you just literally, because you're always helping everybody else to figure it out, you just don't know how to accept help from people helping you to figure it out because you just always been the one trying to figure it out all along. Even when you don't even know what to do, even when you don't even know the next step, even when you're struggling to the point where you literally don't have it in you to get to that next level, but somebody is still relying on you to help them get to that next level. Somebody is still relying on you to tell them what to do. And so I have now been leaning on my community and realizing that I have support all around me and there are people who love me and care for me and are always pouring into my cup. I just have to open my eyes to see it and to accept that my community is there for me, right? When I started my financial journey, I did not have a community. I did not know how to change my situation. I felt stuck for years and I didn't know what to do about it. And that led to 5 years of figuring it out on my own. There was 5 years where the hardest 5 years mentally. They were exhausting, they were draining, and it was just the hardest time. But I had to go through that season also to realize that I need to rely on my community. I need to draw people into my situation, even though I'm a very private person and I don't like to have people just feeling sorry for me or anything. But so what? So what are they sorry for me? What is that? It doesn't matter. Even if I feel like my situation is just the worst and below the level of what I want it to be, that's how I'm gonna get to the next level. And this has helped me to overcome many things. On days when I feel like I'm ready to give up, on days when I feel like I'm ready to throw in the towel and to just move on and to just not care and to just don't even care, I have somebody in my corner telling me they understand. I have somebody in my corner telling me, reminding me that you have your goals, so don't give up. I have somebody telling me that if I'm going to Kingston, don't come off the bus at Oak Bay, which is basically a metaphor for don't give up before you achieve your goals. You know, I saw a sermon today by Stephen Furtick, Elevation Church, and it's along the same lines. And God knows I needed this message today because today was just one of those days where I felt like, man, is it really worth it? I just had that question running in my head as I went through some different situations throughout my day. And you would think that because I know all these things means in the moment when there is just immense pressure that they would just pop up automatically. And no, I'm just like you. I'm just like you in those moments where I would literally, I just have to go through that moment to get back my power and my energy. But in that moment when I'm low, I don't remember. I have to remind myself of my goals. I have to remind myself of why I'm doing all of this. And in the sermon, he said that you have to get to the good part. And you know, honestly, throughout this entire day, I've just been seeing different messages of this and hearing different messages of it. I also saw Glow made a post and she was saying that the first 100 days of putting out content is practice. And then the next 100 days is profit, which you have to go through the stages that you don't like, the stages that feel like they're taking everything out of you to get through, the stages that make you feel like this is my last straw. to get to the stage where you can actually get things done. And even if you think the people in your life don't understand your circumstance, they may not have the exact problem that you have, but they have their own problems. They've been through their own life experiences and they do understand. They do get it. They do see your pain. They do want you to be okay. But of course, not everybody is physically able to help you in a moment, but it doesn't mean that they don't care, right? I remember this story that my dad shared with me, and honestly, I've talked about my dad being an entrepreneur for the past 30 years, but my dad is also like one of the funniest person that I know. He's just a very funny, like I could literally, if I'm having a bad day, I would literally just have him just tell me all sorts of joke and I would just be laughing all day long. But he reminds me of this time when I was in high school, when my siblings and I were, my brother and I was in high school, my little sister was in basic school or primary school, one of them, I think basic. And he would be in Kingston selling bag juice to send us to school, right? And you remember one day he went on the bus and the conductor pulled him off the bus by his shirt. And he said he felt so embarrassed. But when you remember that we have to get lunch money to go to school, he pushed on. And my mom, who went through so many different housekeeping jobs, taking a lot of disrespect and judgment just to help us to get to the level that we are, just seeing their perseverance and how they've pushed through, it just really empowers me to realize that, hey, if my parents give me encouragement, or the people, anybody that's close to me in my life, is they have walked through their own share of experiences to be able to share that wisdom with me. Just like I come on here and I'm telling you guys it's going to be okay for things that I have been through. It's the same thing. But you know, it's hard to take somebody's advice when you're in the middle of your situation because you really think they don't get it and you do not see any light at the end of the tunnel. But there is a light there. And in the middle of the mess, like I said, I get it. You cannot see it. You don't know. You literally would try to tell yourself that it's going to be okay because that's what you need to tell yourself, but you don't feel like it's going to be okay. You don't feel like it's okay. You cannot see how this is going to work out. But there are many things in my life that if I look back now, I couldn't see how they would work out, but they did. And so when I'm in the middle of this situation right now, I have to remind myself of those things because I didn't know how they would work out, but they worked out. And it's the same way, I don't know how this is going to work out, this situation I'm in right now is going to work out, but it's going to work out. And I don't know if you needed to hear this, but don't think that because you're going through your situation or because you're watching me talk about this means I don't have my low moments. I have them all the time. There are many times before I come on camera to make a video, I am going through the worst experience before I even turn on my camera. I cannot even understand how I even pulled myself together to make a video. But I made the video because a part of the process is understanding, just like my dad says, if you're going to Kingston, don't come off the bus at Oak Bay. You have to push through the hard moments, and I know it's hard. I get it. Like, I am not talking from just a YouTube video that I watched and I'm reiterating. This is actual my life. I get it. There are moments where I just have to sit down and shed a good tear and then get back up and figure it out. I am literally talking to you from a place of understanding, right? And so I just want you to know that you'll figure it out. You are stronger than you think. You are more capable than you think. You can endure more than you think. Like, you just have to give yourself a shot. You just have to keep going, and you just have to remember you're not coming off the bus before you reach Kingston, because at the end of the day, you have your goals and you know why you're doing this, and it may not feel like it's gonna be worth anything. You may question if it's worth the pain and the suffering and the struggle, but at the other side of it, you're gonna thank yourself. you're going to thank yourself for it, because you alone know the work that you've put in to get yourself to that next level, and that will make it a much more sweeter process. You know, I saw this creator talking about the fact that you don't need to prove yourself to anybody, you just need to improve yourself, because the truth of the matter is nobody sees the work that you put in, nobody sees the promises that you keep to yourself, nobody sees the confusion and just the pushing through the moments when you just don't know what you need to do to really even get by, or doing the thing and still not seeing results, or just feeling exhausted because you're literally doing so much and the results are not showing. So it doesn't, to everybody else, it just seems like you're just complaining and you're not trying to change your life. And you know, so nobody sees the things that you do but you. We only see the things that you put out there for us to see. And so when we're on this journey of improving ourselves and investing in ourselves, we really just have to keep things into perspective and to remember that we are doing this for the greater good of ourselves and those connected to us, and it's all going to work out. And on this note of community, if you're on your financial journey and you literally feel like you're about to throw in the towel, you feel stuck, you don't know what to do, you need somebody to walk alongside you for accountability and structural purposes, I made a 30-day reset for exactly this, because I can remember there were days on my journey where I just didn't feel like I would ever get to a point where I felt free, where I felt like I had options. And so having gone through all of that, I want you to know that options are possible. You just have to give yourself a shot, right? And if you're ready and willing to take this reset right now, the link will be in the description of this video. All right, but just keep on in and keep on showing up messy, showing up imperfect, showing up unsure, but just show up and practice and get your reps in and get your steps in. And if you feel down for one day or even 2 days, allow yourself to go through it, but just don't stay down. Like, get yourself up. And it's not easy, but once you practice doing it, it will feel easier, right? And I'm here with you, I'm rooting for you, and you got this, okay? All right, so that's all for this video. If you did like this video, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed, and share this video with anybody who could benefit, right? And follow me on all social media platforms at Khrista-Lee Amore. That's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and so you can just keep up to date with everything that's going on with me. And yeah, I hope to see you around. Drop in the comments anything that stood out to you, and how are you managing this season. Share any tips that could benefit the community. Ask me any questions you'd like to know. Put it in the comments if you have video suggestions, whatever it is. Let's chop it up in the comments, and yeah, have a good time. But until then, I'll see you tomorrow in the next one. Let's go make some mistakes. Bye.